Hey, good morning, everybody. We're live. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Let me just adjust the camera here a little bit. All right, hopefully that's good. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me good. All right. How you guys doing? Today is, of course, the new week, guys. Monday, February 25th, 2019, foul year of our Lord. I want to thank all of you guys for joining me for this morning's Breaking Bitcoin Market Update, guys. Of course, if this is your first time to the show, Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. We highly appreciate it, guys. We're here live every day, so the bell will get you notified, guys. All right, let's talk about a few things. Overall, just personally, before we begin, being very cautious in the market. I still have parts of my short position opened up. Price putting in a nice little bullish reaction right now, which doesn't surprise me. If we look at things like Gbtc and CME futures, both gap down after the week open, so it does not surprise me that price would gap up in a bullish reaction. Really, the level that I'm keeping my eyes on, just overview, and we'll do this when we get into the charts. I'm looking for a bearish reaction, most likely off 3,900. I'll wait to see how price responds, but I will likely add to my short position or look to exit the rest of my position in some decent profit after having already taken profit at the levels that I indicated during yesterday's show. Eli back, thanks so much for the $5 donation, man, my good friend. Thank you so much, man. He says, let's start this week off strong. Let's do it, man. The week looking pretty good, but I am being very cautious with new positions right now. Being very cautious with new positions. You know, sometimes not sometimes, but all times, guys. As I teach in my course and in my webinar series for subscribers, you know, the trading, the skill in trading, the skill in capital preservation begins with risk management, not so much with technical analysis. That's why I always start. And I wish I had learned this way when I first began trading. Unfortunately, I didn't. And where I think that most traders go wrong is through risk management and capital preservation. After you make a really killer trade, like we were able to capture with ADA, with EOS, and with Bitcoin short, after you capture a massive move like that and make a very successful trade, you know, the most important thing becomes holding on to that capital. Because if you overtrade, if you rush into new positions, often that doesn't work out too well for a good trader. Sometimes the best thing is just to relax, wait for the market to choose a strong direction and go that way. So this bullish impulse wave does not really convince me that we are going to continue to the upside. What I really need to see is a higher floor, a higher established level of consolidation, and I need to see if we reaccumulate or if we redistribute. We have a lot of trapped longs that have not been liquidated yet, a lot of trapped individuals that bought spot close to the top. I would expect them, as price returns to that $3,900 level, that a lot of them would look to cut their losses at less of a loss than selling the bottom. Of course, a lot of them did sell the bottom. They provided liquidity to individuals that were trying to scalp the market to the long side. That's what we're seeing right now. However, I know that there's a large position of individuals that are going to be interested to take the market short again, but it's very difficult to gauge a strong direction off of this. Again, right now we're just seeing a natural retrace after a pretty volatile movement to the downside. So it's going to take a little bit of time for the market to consolidate and pick a strong direction, and I'll trade whichever the market decides to go. There are a few things which we'll see when we get into the charts. There are a few things that could potentially show that we could have continuation of a bullish uptrend. It could happen. I don't think it's going to happen right now. That would highly surprise me. Really, what we have to wait and see is what happens in our next level of consolidation. We're going to need a period of low volatility to reestablish, and that's where I will re-enter the market with a position when we have a period of low volatility. Okay, so having said that, I hope you guys are being safe out there. Let's see here. Yeah, it's casting a nasty shadow on my head. Well, you know, maybe one of these days, we'll get that nice holographic microphone, you know, that nice see-through microphone one of these days. Well, hopefully you guys come to look at the charts, maybe not so much me. So when we get into the main charting scene, hopefully the shadow will be less of it. But thanks so much, man. All right, I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Newton, I see Jasper, I see Xrp, Dr. Crypto Nod, Jonathan Krause, Texas Blues, Crew, CIT, Sam B, Robert, Patrick, Ashwin. I see all you guys. You guys are doing absolutely. Hey, Real Stogger Roach, Xanimus Crypto. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Hopefully I did not miss anything in the chat. Sorry if I missed anything. Of course, if you guys have any suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the chat, guys. We'll try to get to them as we approach them. Now, first thing I do want to talk about is give a shout out. Make sure you guys head on over to x42.krakencryptocurrency.com. There's 6 days left in our giveaway. I mean, we've got 1,179 entries so far, guys. Let's see if we can break that $2,000 barrier. We're giving away 5 masternode worth of X42. So 5 individuals will receive enough X42 to stake their own masternode. A great opportunity, guys. So go check that out. Check out x42.tech. If you're not familiar with the project, you can read up upon them. There's a brief overview here for those of you who aren't familiar. Again, We highly appreciate the donations. We're allowed to, donations like the ones that Eli just generously provided for us, we're able to reinvest and create, how do I put this better? We were able to purchase the Xlm plugin and subscription here. So we're able to do these giveaways on a more consistent basis and give back to the community that has been so appreciative and welcome and warming to us. So we'll be doing these for quite a while, guys. We've got more giveaways lined up after this. We're going to be giving away a lot of MMO coin. We've got another proud supporter of the show that's going to potentially do a giveaway after that, and we'll just keep lining them up, guys. So thank you so much for your support. And again, x42.krakencryptocurrency.com. All right, let's get into the charts, guys. Let's just right over here. So we'll start off with just an analysis of Bitcoin Tether USDT, which is pretty much my go-to for looking for general direction of Bitcoin's price movement. So a couple things that are standing out to me. So if you guys recall, on the way down, my take profit levels, these were cyan lines on the way down. Jonathan Krause, thanks so much for the $4.99. Many thanks for your sound advice and education, he says. Thank you so much, man. You're one of the good ones. Thank you so much, man. Is Bitcoin going up or down? Well, it's going up right now. I'm fairly ambivalent upon how far or how little. Again, still have a portion of my short position open. I will potentially look to re-add to that here shortly, depending on how price action responds to the psychological level of 3,900. Currently sitting at about 3,850, and we're having about a 2.84%, a little bit of a rally during the day, which is nice. But again, the overall strength, if we're just looking at price action, remains with the bears. So after a nice 9% movement to the downside, you really have to see if this gets sold into very heavily, then it shows very little strength from the bulls, honestly. So that's kind of what you're looking for when you're just looking at price action analysis. Price action analysis tells you quite a bit of what you want to see about price. So as you can see, when price is moving up, and I went over this pretty in depth last night, as price is moving up, very weak reaction from the bears, unable to push price down. You just look at the size and the strength and the momentum of the candlesticks, and that is the direction of the trend. Some people find it very difficult, and it can be very difficult for those of you who are new to price action analysis. Eli, thanks so much again, dude. $5 again. You're the man, dude. I'm always happy to support you and always thankful for your TA on my sheet coin. Well, you know, as we do, man, let's go ahead and add that to the schedule. Check out IOP. We'll add IOP to the schedule. That all well. Hopefully that's coming in quite clear. Okay. Okay, so just looking at the daily time frame, BTC USDT, the levels that I'm going to keep that potentially I should be keeping my eye on are 39.69. The level that I'm actually keeping my eye on right now is going to be 3,900. Why? Because that's a psychological level. It does not have a lot of horizontal significance, as far as that's not necessarily a level that price has responded off of strongly to in the past on a daily time frame. It's just kind of been a level. I mean, really the only thing of significance was it acted as slight resistance here for this consolidation period, and it acted as recently support here for this consolidation period. So, you know, just basic general rule of technical analysis: resistance becomes support, support becomes resistance. And although it's not the most critical level of resistance on my chart, it is the level that I'm going to be keeping my eye on for a potential area to add to my short. Depending on how price closes above or below this position, potentially reduce the risk on my short and wait for consolidation. Again, I won't be entering into a long position until I see some consolidation and actual sustained growth, because I do expect this to get sold into on its first retest. And kind of some of the leading indicators that I look for this is, so let's actually go over here. I want to start a little bit differently today. So let's go take a look at continuous futures, BTC CME, and this is the chart that I put out this morning, guys. So here's the 8-hour analysis of the CME futures. Again, opened up on a big gap down. And what's interesting is actually on the daily time frame, the CMEs did not make a higher high on the daily because they didn't have that Saturday for price to really be pushed up. So all they did was they had the bearish reaction off the price action from Sunday morning, because obviously the CME futures open about 5 p.m. my time on Sunday evening. So CME futures opened, gapped all the way down, and it is pretty natural, I would say, for that gap to be filled. So if we go look at where they actually opened, you can see that we had a very nice about 5% gap down. Actually, and it ended up finding a bottom down at about 6% down on the futures, which is a pretty large move for a gap for CME futures. Even if we're talking about Bitcoin, that's a pretty massive gap. Even when we go back here, this is quite a larger gap than the previous one that we saw. Anyways, so nice gnarly gap down. It does not surprise me that this gap is getting filled. If we look at the volume profile and just zoom in on recent price action. Actually, sorry, I want to take in the consolidation period into account. Great, excellent. What we can see is actually that we're now traveling in a low volume node. So the high volume node doesn't really begin until 39.16 on the CME futures. We're currently trading at around 38.20. So for the CME futures, kind of the area that I'm keeping my eye on is this lower depth density of the low volume node right here. This is an area, again, corresponds to previous support, previous resistance over here. Again, this seems like a likely area for price to get sold into. So should the daily CME open and close above this level, or really just close above that level and consolidate, that's really what I'm looking for. If we're able to close above this level and then move sideways and then show a bullish impulse up from there, then I'll probably be looking for a long, and I will be expecting a higher high, to be quite honest. Because then that would be a nice buy up of the dip, indicating that enough individuals have bought up. You still have to be very cautious as you approach this level, because as we can see when we go back to the regular charts, just the amount. Let's take a look at something like volume here. Yeah, just the number of individuals that bought into this candle is pretty drastic. And actually, you can see the depth of this volume as well. If you guys recall back during the hourly, maybe we can see this on the hourly. If we go back to the hourly, actually before the dump. You can see the massive amount of volume that transacted there, but still a lot of individuals that purchased into this dump. Now you can see that those were actually low volume areas, so that was another leading indicator that price was not going to continue to the upside. You have this nice blow off reversal candlestick on the hourly. You have plenty of time to get out of your long position, man. There was no reason. You have to be very cautious, man. You have to be very cautious. I mean, I talked about this for quite a while. I talked about a lot of things, the longs to shorts ratios. I talked about critical levels of horizontal resistance, the fact that we had not gotten confirmation of higher daily highs, and you do have to expect, guys, you just have to respect higher time frame resistance and expect that it is going to get sold into fairly significant on tests. So here is what, from a very general oversense, this is what we would ideally be looking for if the bullish stream is not going to die. If we are seeing this, and again, I don't think that we've had enough consolidation to really end the bear market per se, but I think there is a potential that we go up and test 4,500, potentially even 4,900. And we'll see how price reacts from that level. Those are kind of our tricky sticking areas for BTC USDT. Most individuals think that if we do open and close the daily above 4,000, 4,161, which are our levels of weekly time frame resistance right here, that we're just going to march all the way up to 6,000. I think that's possible. Anything's possible, but it is likely that I think we move up for a bit of a bear trap, and then. Again, depending on price action, I do have lower downside targets should we break 3,000. Pretty much any time, whether we go up here first or whether we reject from here initially. The critical level that I am keeping my eye on for whether we're going to go down much further or whether we're going to consolidate in this range from 3,000 to 4,100, give or take, would be 3650. If we go down below 3650, we are, I feel very strongly, going to retest 3,100 and most likely lower, because should we go down, and I do have the levels here on the charts. Good. I do have the levels here on the charts. We do have a logarithmic on. Great. That's going to make it a little bit easier to watch. We can just see critical levels here and actually what's going to be most helpful. So now I'll go ahead and look at the Bitstamp chart, because now we're going to need a little bit more historical context. All right. Cool. So if we end up, if we go below 3650, that's kind of the midline for the range for me. It will represent that we have failed to hold a higher level of support. And again, I've talked about this previously. That level of 3,400 has already been bought up about 4 times now. I don't think that it's going to get bought up again. It's highly unlikely that level acts as support now. On the daily, you can see the multiple times that the buyers have bought that level up. Again, the more times that buyers buy up a level, the less interested buyers become. Buyers are interested in fresh new levels, and sellers are interested in fresh new levels as well. So there is a potential for 3193 or that $3,200 area to act as support. It would only be a secondary retest of it on the higher time frames, but you don't know. More than likely, price goes slightly below that to liquidate longs before moving up if it does. And I would expect to see price wick down as low as 29.72. Now, if there are buyers at or below 29.72, so just right in this range, and we do wick fairly on fairly high momentum back close to 3,000 or back inside that $3,000, $4,000 range, then I'll be pretty bullish at that point in time. If we get a nice wick down and a volatile movement back up, I would expect us to begin marching quite higher, and I'd probably change my tune as far as we're not going to 6K, we don't have enough liquidity. I feel we'd have tapped into enough liquidity at that point in time. But the reality is you don't know how far down you're going to wick. So the safest position below 36.50 is, of course, to be in a short, and you don't really try to buy the dip when price is breaking support and going down, because you're just gambling. You have no idea whether price is going to go down to 2,900 or whether it's going to go down to 1,900 or 2,300. Again, we have accumulation goals right here. The area that represents the market bottom for me is 1917. That's kind of the lower boundary of our previous dip right there. Of course, there are lower downside targets, but I find it very unlikely that Bitcoin goes that low. In fact, I'm ambivalent on whether or not Bitcoin goes below 3,000. Again, the key indicating factor is 36.50. If we go below 36.50, then I do expect us to at the very least retest 3,200 and most likely at least wick down to 29.72. But again, you need to be in a short position when that time comes, because you have no idea whether we're going to break and continue down quite volatilely. If we close below 2,900, 29.72, then likely we do end up marching our way down to a lower level of consolidation before then finally being able to emerge from the nuclear apocalypse of the bear market. But that's more long-term speculative analysis. That's different from trading. So really, all that is just my opinion. And we need confirmation from price action before we can do any of that. So for me, in my opinion, it's quite simple. I think if we go above 4,000 now, then likely we will retest at least 4,600. And we'll just kind of take it from there. Of course, those levels get sold on the first pass through. If we consolidate at a higher level, I add to my long position and I look for higher targets. So basically, I'm expecting, we've already gotten 3. We've had, well, on the daily time frame less. So let's go to BTC US. Let's go back to USDT. Because Bitstamp is well and good, is just fine for looking at long-term analysis. But when you want to actually make some trades, you need to be looking at the USDT chart. All right, let me give, right, let's see here. Pause. Sir Newton says, I should have listened to you. I am now underwater on my BTC long position. Well, you're going to get an opportunity to sell at less of a loss. Or potentially just hold on, man. You definitely never sell a market bottom, man, because after a big volatile move like that, you generally expect to see somewhat of a Jasper says, blup, thanks, man. Esmalal says, hey, Justin, I love the new look of your stream. Only drawback is that the mic is casting a nasty shadow on your head. That's all good. Gabriel Rondon says, I shorted the top at 41.50. Should I hold to it or just take profits? So I took profits at 3,900. 39.69. So this is the tether chart. Jeez, sorry. Keep myself on track, guys. So the levels where I took profit. Ooh, this is the overlay. Sorry, I was messing with this, guys. Doing some fun stuff last night. I created an overlay version of my time transformation indicator. So, anyways, all right, cool. Yeah, I just had to check my account. So 39.30, 37.80, 37.80, and 36.52 is my next downside target. Looking at this right now, I'm not really inclined to be out of my short position. I still have a small position in my short. And again, we'll kind of see what I'm watching for is how price reacts to 3,900. So that's a ways away. That's your preference, man. It's difficult for me to answer that question for people. And again, I don't like answering questions about specific positions because I don't know what your time frame is. I don't know what your risk amount is. I don't know I don't know what your trading methodology is. But my personal opinion is that this most likely gets sold back into. I don't think we've seen enough consolidation. And Eli, yes, we got shirts, t-shirts, posters, pants, everything you could possibly need, man. Scott did a fantastic job with with what we got going on. Yep, we'll check out IOP. Xrp's listed on Coinbase. Esmalal said, so thankful for everything I learned, meanwhile, from you and the others. Was able to ladder in shorts up to almost exactly the top yesterday. That's awesome, man. Good to hear. Had started trading in October, naturally with some educational losses in November. Yes, it happens, man. So Xlm and Xrp Pumping. We'll take a look at those guys. Let's go ahead and pause for the cause. XRP got listed on Coinbase. Ooh, that's a nice little pump right there. Okay, double bottom on the daily, a little bit of consolidation. Tell you what, that's a nice pump, man. Up about 12%. I never chase parabolic movements like that. You can, if you want to, buy into that and be very cautious around that 34-cent mark. Because this has happened a few times before, man. You can see test pumps here where XRP pumps up and then just immediately gives it back to the market. Lower highs on the daily here, higher level of consolidation, and then yeah, just extreme down thrust and back up, man. Kind of the same thing, man. Whenever you enter into a trade, whenever you enter into a moment of high volatility, you're inherently taking a lot of risk. You had a lot of people that would have bought in right here, and then they got their face ripped off. So again, coming back to a level like here, it's likely to get sold into. But when you have a news event like that, when you have a news-driven event, like for example, being able to be listed on Coinbase, things do pump for a while, and then they generally give it all back to the market. So, with Bitcoin doing its thing, with Bitcoin being unsure about its future direction, I have no strong opinion about establishing a long-term position in Xrp. But you can always try to wait for the next pullback, or you can buy it now if you want, but I don't recommend it. I don't chase parabolic movements like that. I don't chase parabolic movements like that. We got some significant resistance coming in at 34 cents. I actually would expect, though, that if this continues to pump like this, you'll probably smash through it on the first go through. The more significant resistance is coming in at 37.68. So if you're jumping into high volatility and you want to take a high risk gamble, those would be your take profit targets. See if we can't get a 20% pump out of XRP today. All right, back to Bitcoin here real quick, guys. Okay, so what's best for Bitcoin? I know it's a funny, stupid question. Going up or down, which one will prolong? Well, I mean, just from a fundamental level, man, it just matters where the liquidity comes into. As I said previously, when we initially bounced off 3,400, I said I didn't think we would have enough liquidity, or that we tapped into enough liquidity here to be able to actually break out of the trading range. Now, liquidity can always come in at the top of the market, or really at any place in the market. And we do see, if we look at something like Total, getting a nice bullish reaction back to the market cap, man. So currently, right now, a lot of individuals, and again, this moves just lockstep with Bitcoin. So it's just a good confirmation indicator for when you're looking at Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. But having a nice bullish day in the market right now, not a Monday, bloody Monday, kind of having a green, lovely green, you know what I mean? But again, when things like this happen, I do tend to be very, very cautious, because it's just a bullish reaction so far. From from an asset being taking a real big dump, man. You know, and one thing I do want to point this out, man. You know, I don't really follow what a lot of other people say about Bitcoin. I tend to rely on my own analysis because that's, in my experience, just going to serve you the best. But you know, I saw some articles this morning, and somebody linked me to a couple like trading view posts, and I've made my opinion on those clear. The people that post those daily like trading view posts, like I typically, if I look at them, I pretty much look to do the opposite of what they say. But what's this dude? I don't even know what his name is. Like magical something. I don't know. Like I something. Anyways, he was talking about how the big candle, the big candle to the downside was signs. This is clear signs of how easily manipulated the market is. Like there's no market manipulation. Like this was pretty clear to see. You expected to get, you know, listen, like, you know, Bitcoin's been on a what? Pretty much a 4-week uptrend without any pullback, without any significant pullback whatsoever. When you saw all the bids drop off of the order books as price pushed closer to 4,000, and you saw, you know, the aggression of the longs like tap in, and you saw that the longs were, everybody was like 75% net long. These order books are relatively thin. $14 billion can drop the market 9-10% on Bitcoin. That's exactly what it did. There's no manipulation, man. That's the size of the order books and the liquidity that we're talking about. Stuff like that. People who talk about market manipulation, generally a good sign that they were on the wrong side of the trade. Yes. Let's see here. Cryptonaut says, is there a way to get access to the time transformation indicator in TradingView? Yes, all premium subscribers get access to my time transformation indicator, as well as Kadrigo, as well as all my other indicators as well. Link in the description at the top, man. Premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. I should be studying real estate law, but this is funner. Oh, thanks, Dr. Faz. I appreciate that, man. Anomaly123 says, what makes you think one more shot downward to 2,500 is going to be the final capitulation? A market will recover after that. What if it goes to 2,500, then 2,000, and then 1,000? It could, man. It could. I think that there are other levels. There are areas around 2,300. It's the 88.6 Fibonacci retracement. It's the area where we previously bottomed after the last bear market in Bitcoin back in 2014. Just from a fundamental perspective, so let me start off by saying that I'm bullish fundamentally on Bitcoin, which a fundamental analysis is where the best investments are made. So I think that Bitcoin has extreme value. I think that it has the ability to be appreciated, that its price will be appreciated over time. I think that there is a deep fundamental value in what Bitcoin can provide. I see the interest in Bitcoin from investors from all frames and walks of life. Everybody's excited. Retail investors are excited. Institutional investors are excited. Sir Newton, man, thank you so much for the super chat, my good friend. I highly appreciate it. Not even a comment, man, just support. Thank you so much, man. You're one of the good ones. It also seems that area would be likely, based on volatility, based on the volatility index, and the fact that longs are still relatively high, even though we've seen a pretty significant drop off of the longs. I think a drop like that would lead us to some good capitulation. And also, there's previous horizontal weekly support. So just as a technical analyst, I have to look at what the charts tell me. Just based off that, and also maybe a little bit of gut intuition, I find it unlikely that Bitcoin goes below 2,000. There are other factors. But China. How much does YouTube take off your super chat cash? I don't know. I think it's like, somebody told me it was like 50%, man. I don't actually quite know. Scott probably knows. How do you think the next halving will impact the market? I think likely So historically, the year before the halving is always the best time to buy Bitcoin. This has been true throughout Bitcoin's history. So, but that would essentially lead us to be in consolidation or still in a bear market until August, if you're just going off a very simple analysis of the halving. So, I would be very surprised if how do I put this? I would be very surprised if we were in an extended bear market and not moving into accumulation by the end of 2019. I would be very surprised at that. But anyway, either way, there's going to be opportunities in all kinds of things. So here's kind of what I'm going to be keeping my eye on for the day, man. If we're able to close the day strongly above 3,900, then I'm probably going to be completely out of my short position, and I'm going to be looking to look for a long. I'll be waiting for the next momentary pullback or consolidation. I'd ideally like to see a level of consolidation before I just jump headlong into a long, because that's not how I trade. I would expect the 3,900 initially gets sold into here on the first pass through. But I mean, that's the two levels, man. I have two initiation levels. Below 3,650, I crank up a short, man. I add to my short position. Above 3,900, I would expect us to actually have consolidation and then push higher. So we'll see, man. It's going to take a few days before we have clear ideas on what the market's going to do. Right now, this is just all impulse reaction. So, all right, so we looked at CME, we looked at Gbtc. Oh, we didn't look at Gbtc, but yeah, Gbtc, another neat little leading indicator. Yeah, you can see how price ended up gapping down. We go to the hourly chart on Gbtc, had a pretty gnarly gap down. So right now the gap's just being filled. Typically, you'll have a gap filled and then continuation on in the direction of which initially caused the gap. But we'll just wait and see, man. We'll just wait and see. I'm waiting to see consolidation. If we consolidate at a higher level, I'll be quite bullish. If we initially reject from 3,900, then I'm going to be quite bearish. When Twitch. I'm on Twitch, man. If you guys want to come support me on Twitch, man, I highly appreciate it. I mean, YouTube's a nice platform and everything, man. You're able to meet a lot of people, but Twitch is good for content creators, man. Okay, so Bitcoin, looked at Bitcoin Tether USD, impulse bullish reactionary, looking for a reaction off 3,900, potentially even wicking up a little bit higher to 3,969. If the daily is able to close above 3,900, I'd expect to see some consolidation. I'll be out of my short position at that point in time, and I'll be looking for a long on a breakout of that consolidation. Probably, honestly, being quite honest with you, probably targeting 4,500 initially. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. Should we reject from 3,900, then I'm probably going to add to my short position as soon as the daily goes below 3,800, and I'm going to be targeting initially 3,652, which was my third take profit target for my short. Should we get down below 3,650, I'm going to add to my short position quite a bit. I'm going to take a very large position to the downside, and I'm going to be targeting 3,200. And potentially looking to either exit my position should we get a bullish reaction off of that. But again, bullish reaction, consolidation, and then I exit my position if there's no indication of the continuation of the downside. But should we go below 3,200, I'm holding on for a screamer. Okay, so that's basically what we got, man. Not an area. I just don't advise anybody. And again, you guys are free to make your own decisions. And if you guys want to trade along pretty fully with the signals that I make and the trades that I make and the setups that I make, you can check the description in the top, guys. I'd love to have you guys join us in the group. But just not an area where I'm eager to jump into a trade one way or the other. I mean, I'm in a very comfortable position right now. You know, I made 3 very profitable trades over the weekend. So I'm not eager to lose any of that money. And I'm not eager to jump into a position based off short-term bullish reaction. Seems like the Xrp shillers are just bouncing from stream to stream, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. Oh, is that what it is? Magic Poop Cannon. That's I think you got, okay, I think that I know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I think that might have been the chart I was looking at. Again, I don't know. It's hard for me. I know that, like Bitcoin's funny and everything, but hard for me to let's look at some data metrics, guys. I want to look at some data metrics. First thing I want to look at is the aggression of the market longs and market shorts on Max. Yeah, 53%. So definitely in the short term, if you're scalping right now, definitely looking to take trades to the upside because you're trading in the direction of the current lower time frame trend. The daily Heikin-Ashi is still red though, so you can't be looking to open up positional longs if you're looking to smartly trade with the trend. About 7.247 million to the buy just a couple minutes ago. So nice push up, man. All right, looking at the market depth ratio. Let's give this a refresh, even though it does update. I don't know why. I just give it a refresh because all right, cool. And we have another leading indicator here, guys, in the form of bull bear income. So as you can see, as we were approaching the top, longs quite profitable. We have a floor, and this is a good way to interpret this. So I've spent some time looking at this, and what you're looking for is a spike after a ceiling or a level of support or consolidation in the bull bear income itself. So as you can see here, sometimes it's quite clear. Sometimes it's quite clear. Just in general, you have spikes. You have spikes in bull bear income, or excuse me, you have spikes in bull income, which represent pretty much the best time to add a position. But in general, you can see just a nice flat ceiling here, guys, because when the longs are profitable, they're looking to take profit. And what happens when long takes profit? They're market selling and price moves to the downside. Same thing here. We have a spike in bull income and price reverses to the downside. If we go back in time, we can actually see that when shorts are quite profitable, when shorts are very profitable, the market reverses to the upside. So generally, the market moves toward liquidity, and the market moves to, when we're looking at the psychology of positions in the marketplace, when we're looking at the psychology of positional traders in the marketplace, when you are in profit, you get nervous and you look to take profit. So when you have a lot of individuals who are very profitable, you would expect the market to move quite volatile. Right. Okay. So bull bear income has not shifted drastically. The short's honestly not in massively profitable positions. So we'll just kind of wait for this information update. As we can see, let's get rid of the bull bear income. Let's just look at long and short positions in Bitcoin. So long positions, pretty much again, and we talked about this earlier, man. A lot of long positions dropping off here, dropping off again. Not a lot of individuals quick to short the market. So, and I think we can see, I'll look at that a little bit clearer when we actually go look at the longs and shorts. But here's BitMEX. Here's the bid-ask sum, 5% of price. The BitMEX bid-ask sum is quite bearish. So we have a ton of sells here within 5% of price. So I think a lot of short orders stacking around that $3,900, $4,000 level. These are limit orders that are on the books. And I would expect that that is mostly people looking to get out of their trapped long positions. Their trapped long positions at less of a profit if they haven't already been liquidated. Pretty much everybody's already been liquidated that was 10x or above. But anybody that was low leverage or positional trading on 1 to 5x leverage, they're just looking to exit their position. They're looking to exit their position at not a loss. And you also have, this also represents individuals trying to short the natural retest of previous support as resistance. So the BitMEX order book's quite quite bearish, but that's using future sentiment. So if we do look at Coinbase and Bitfenix are actually quite bullish in there within 5% of price within the bid-ask sum. We do see asks and offers steadily rising. And after a pretty sharp decline in the bids, we do see a recent spike back up pretty much overnight. So, but not climbing higher currently. I think a lot of those orders already got filled. So 15-minute chart over there. And if we look at Bitfenix as well, also bullish, but I would say more drastically on its face, it's bullish, man. We do have higher bids within 5% of the order book. We'll see if we get continuation of this, though. Again, price action is the thing that I'm mostly keeping my eye on. And again, I talked about that. Whoa, wrong scene. Again, I'm looking to see how price responds to that $3,900 level. Definitely not rushing to get into a long right here, guys. There is no reason, in my opinion. Now, the reason for it is, though, is if you missed a movement, or if you're thinking that price is just going to run away from you, it's not going to run away from you, man. You're going to have plenty of opportunities. If we're going to go on a nice little extended bull run here, you're going to have plenty of opportunities, because what you're going to see, I think 3,900 most likely gets sold into, could not. If it breaks through and we consolidate higher, that is going to be your opportunity to enter in a low volatility market. When price is reaccumulating at a higher level, you're having all the trapped buyers selling into new buyers at this higher level. And then if price breaks to the upside on that, I would expect price to go higher and actually break horizontal resistance. That would be the trade that I would take. I would take XBT long to the upside, targeting 4,500. We'll see. We'll see, though. But for right now, below 3,900, I expect 3,900 to get sold into. I know, Light. I know you're so excited. I'm so happy for you. What website is that? Which one, guys? I have... so there's data.bitcoinity.org. This is bitger.com. This is vcdepth.io, and this is coinfarm.online. I'll drop those links in the description. Hey, Money Manager, thanks so much for the sub. All right, so we've talked about Bitcoin at length, what I'm looking for, what I'm expecting to see. We looked at Gbtc, we looked at CME futures. All right, so let's go over to Gbtc, looking at Gbtc on the hourly. Again, we are looking at the delayed market, but I don't trade stocks right now. I'm not going to pay that extra little feature. Getting an initial bearish reaction from kind of the midpoint of the gap. So let's go check out the updated chart on BTCH 2019, the March contract. So we'll have the new candle in about 8 minutes because we are on the delayed market here. But man, CME futures got a big gap to contend with here, guys. Big gap to contend. Justin is no, it's not publicly available, man. It's a private script. Okay, I want to go look at again. You know, I feel like I only need to do one, but taking a quick look at Aetherium, which actually, to be quite honest with you, should price do what I want, or excuse me, what is possible here, and consolidate at a higher level of support and break to the upside, I actually probably will take Aetherium to the upside and not Bitcoin, being quite honest with you, because it's more volatile. So, they're just going to move in the absolute same direction. But if we take a look here, To be quite honest, Ethereum not putting in the same amount of bullish reaction that Bitcoin is. I mean, Bitcoin is putting in a fairly impressive bullish reaction. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty clear to see. But Ethereum not really leading the charge as well. So 15-minute chart, you have a nice clean ascending triangle formation, and you do have a nice break to the upside. So not a bad short-term trade had I been so inclined to take that, but already being situated in a position as I am, I would just look to add and expect rejection from this level. But we'll see. I mean, the critical level, again, not to sound like a broken record, is what happens around 3,900. Do we consolidate at a higher level, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go look at Ethereum. So since Ethereum has been an underperformer, what we could expect, and again, kind of see that same thing, that nice ascending triangle pattern. You have consistent resistance. You retest resistance. So once, twice, 3 times you test resistance, you pull back down and form a higher low, and you are testing right around the resistance breakout area. Since we can expect Ethereum to follow right along with Bitcoin, I would not be surprised to see Ethereum march up here to 148.30 potentially as the level of resistance that I have for Ethereum. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. Yeah, the gap's going to get filled, man. Not now, when I say the gap's going to get filled, it doesn't mean it's going to fully retrace all the same way. It just means the price is going to go back into the gap. Generally, when gaps get filled, they get filled and they continue on in the direction that caused the gap in the first. But you guys are funny, man. Jace, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty funny, man. Okay. Let's see here. Robert G says, we go up, it's bearish. We go down, it's bearish. TA guys, love them. I will say it goes up or down, and I have a 50% chance to be right. Yeah, I guess. You could say it could go up or down and have a 50% chance to be right. Don't know what to say, man. I've been practicing technical analysis for quite a while, and I don't know a better metric to base a trade off of. Otherwise, in my opinion, you're just kind of blindly selling. But the reality of the situation is, you know, price reacts. I look at price with a if this then that. So there are certain things that would lead me to think that we would continue appreciating in price, and there are certain things that would happen that would lead me to believe that we're going to depreciate in price, and I would make a trade and base a decision based around. So. Okay, so I think that's enough. ETH and XBT pretty much covered all of that. So here, people want us. We got to take a look at IOP, Stellar Lumens, and XRP, of course, man. Dial Tim says, so I just got in here and I do not understand what are you doing. But it's interesting to look at. So can you summarize what are you doing? I'm doing technical analysis on cryptocurrencies, which is how I make my living. So I'm analyzing trends in price, I'm analyzing momentum, I'm analyzing volume, I'm analyzing future sentiment, so I can determine how to base a decision and base a trade off of whether I should take a trade to the upside or whether I should take a trade to the downside or whether I shouldn't do anything at all. All right, thank you so much for the subs, guys. All right, so here's the schedule. We're about an hour into the show. You know, we are going to run a little bit longer. I do want to give a big thank you, guys. Big thank you. So we've got, let me see here. Darren, Tree Weeks, The Money Manager, and Lee Vandowski. Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions on YouTube. Heading on over to Twitch, guys. Thank you so much. We've got Rajesh13, Lance Messi, Spunky133, Be a Kiwi. I think I gave you a shout out yesterday. Raspberry, Swirl, and Deal 10. Thanks, guys, so much for the follows on Twitch. Highly appreciate it, guys, as always. All right. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to take a quick 1 minute break, guys, so I can grab some water. And when I get back, guys, we're going to take a look at IOP, Stellar Lumens, and XRP, the coin on everybody's lips right now. XRP, 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 XRP. All right, guys. And Crypto Kiwi, thanks for the sub on YouTube, guys. So, don't go anywhere. While you're waiting, guys, we are still giving away 5 masternodes worth of X42. So if you're just tuning into the show, make sure you guys head on over to x42.krakencryptocurrency.com. 6 days left in the giveaway, 1,179 entries so far. Let's see if we can't break that $2,000 level. And appreciate it if you guys hit that thumbs up button while I'm taking a break, guys. Highly appreciate it. I'll be right back, and that should give you something to fill your time. All right, CME futures continuing to fill that gap. And Gbtc as well. I did want to take a look at the longs and shorts. And one thing that that I do, and you guys will notice this. So the way that I look at longs and shorts is a little different than everybody else. So I see the numbers. I see most people just look at BTC USD longs on Bitfenix, which is fine and well and good, and I think will enhance your analysis when you're action. But I think that it's better, as you can see, more markets, more data, more actionable information. So what I actually do is I look at all the longs. I look at all the fiat pairings. So if you're just looking at USD longs, you're not looking at individual trading against the euro, trading against the British pound, trading against the Japanese yen. You're also not weighting it against the current price of Bitcoin. So this, in my opinion, gives you a more accurate reflection and does change the numbers a little bit. So I think it's superior to just looking at longs version. But anyways, as we can see here, in general, compared to recent price action, pretty low sentiment, and that doesn't necessarily surprise me, because after a very high volatility movement, you do expect just significant unloading from both the longs and the shorts. The shorts unloading much earlier than the longs, obviously, because the market was moving. As we can see right now, shorts on the rise on Bitfenix, and longs still on the decline after a little bit of a nice pump up here. Again, longs pumping up right at the top, right at the absolute worst period in time. You can see here that longs were quite low. Pretty much as Bitcoin was on its rise. You had the entire market quite long on Bitcoin all the way up till the 18th of February, which was pretty much the last spike. And then you just saw a massive amount of longs exiting their positions, taking profit, and then a lot of indecision, consolidation in the longs, and then a big spike up from 22nd to the 24th. Just absolute worst time to enter, and then the longs exiting, generally at a loss, honestly. Shorts piled off, again, just you can just see that this is generally information that you counter trade when you're at market tops or market bottoms. When you're near critical levels of horizontal support and resistance, it's much clearer to take action. It's much clearer to catch an extremely profitable position. When you're somewhere like no man's land, which is kind of where we're at right now, when you're somewhere in no man's land where you've broken out of consolidation, so right now the momentum is to the upside temporarily, but we're not near any critical higher term levels of support and resistance. So again, I wait for consolidation near more critical levels, and then I'll take action based upon that. But shorts are stacking on right now, as we can see. Good opportunity. But, it just blows my mind. Shorts piling in again. Shorts piling in at the bottom of a highly volatile movement. You expect to see a retracement, man. You expect to see a natural retracement. Kind of the critical level is it a 50% retracement that holds? That's generally bullish continuation. Or is it a less than 50% retracement that gets sold into? So, kind of the thing. Thanks, Robert G. I highly appreciate that, man. As Usoft says, this instrumental is fire. Only the best on our stream, man. Thank you very much. 10WRS, thank you so much for the sub, man. Highly appreciate it, my good friend. There it is. All right, thanks so much, man. Okay, so let's go look at the stuff that's on everybody's mind. Of course, we're going to look at IOP for our good friend Eli back. Oh, I want to give a shout out, man. Double check, man. Eli back in the #1 donation spot, man. So thank you so much for all your support, man. Thank you so much. You're one of the good ones. Okay, so let's take a look at IOP. Apparently my computer is telling me that no. There we go. All right, excellent, man. So kind of just what we talked about yesterday, man. I talked about that bullish impulse, man. We did go up. We did hit 31.65. Actually had a little bit of a profit opportunity, about 5% above that, had you had a trailing stop. Coming back down now to that midline, to that support level. So still above the descending trend line, the long-term descending trend line. Still, let's be quite clear here. I want to be logically consistent in what I say, Mr. Eli. Still not necessarily an asset that I'm interested in trading. I mean, let's just be quite real. This is not an amazing looking chart, you know. But again, you know, going back to penny stock days, going back to altcoin trading, there's great volatility in it, man. But looking at the daily time frame, man, that does not look good. I mean, this was just a pump and a dump. I expect more sideways consolidation. It might list lazily upwards, but very, very difficult to make strong to be bullish on this asset for strong continued movement until we're able to break above my upside profit targets here that you do see that I have. But you can actually see that this latest pump and dump was not as impressive as the last one that we had. That last one was actually a little bit more impressive and had a more convincing candle body close, forming that level of resistance that I talked about, man. So just as I said, man, hard. If we consolidate, if we break above 31.65 and close above 31.65, you'll likely see these upper price targets. But right now, just a pump up to resistance. And I mean, just a brief, just immediate rejection, man. So a good, nice 10% pump as the rest of the market pumped as well. But just again, bullish reactionary after such a volatile movement, man. Nothing sustainable, nothing looking very fantastic. And again, if the daily ends up closing below the support level here, 29.95, that does not look good, man. Not look good. You can make the case that as long as we're above the long-term descending trend line right here, you can make the case that, oh, well, we broke out, but I don't like to see us break out lazily to the left. Again, consolidation, and then probably a bullish reaction if that does happen, man. But again, just when we're dealing with most coins, not something that I can have a lot of faith in, man. I mean, be realistic about this. Down at the bottom of the market cycle, and I know I wax loquaciously on this, but I know you love her, so just gonna hold on to IOP. Okay, so if I had to be a little bit more logically consistent here, so we can see a very critical level of liquidity right here. So we can see where price wicks down to on 2 consecutive days, and you can see where we establish support there. We actually have a nice double bottom off of that and a stop loss hunt to the downside to tap into liquidity. So let's actually make this an initiation level for me, honestly, not support initiation level, because it's been bought up 4 times now. That level is not likely to act as support. So even though I had said, what did I say? 29.95, I believe, 29.95, 2,995 sats. Closing the daily below that looks very, very negative to me. But 28.81, man, definitely. If you open and close 28.81, I would probably just roll IOP. That's when you got to take IOP, and just take it out to the back, put it on its knees down by the river, and say, know what you did. Just put a bullet in the back of its head, man. It's not looking good. But again, getting above 31.65, we do have some upper price targets here, and really, this upper price target, this should actually be not a profit-taking target, to be quite realistic. This should be an initiation level. When I'm looking at a market like this, and I'm pretty sure that if we go ahead and throw some indicators on here, so let's look at something like Ishimoku. Yeah, so Ishimoku, we bounced off the Tenkan-san, found resistance at the Kijun, and if we look up at where we're at, depending on how long it takes us to get there, we can see the initiation level being the directly overhead cloud. We do actually have the cloud down now at the resistance level, so that's another way to put it as well. Just the future cloud is extreme, not even twisting up or tightening up whatsoever. So looking at Ichimoku analysis, should we consolidate up above this level? This would tell us that we're in the future cloud. And we could be a little bullish, and again, look at these as potential upside price targets. And again, getting up above 38.43, we've broken out of consolidation, as we can see here quite clearly if we look at the volume profile. So let's look at the volume profile. Yeah. So looking at the volume profile, we can see the massive high volume node that we're currently trading in. And really all we're doing right now, man, is getting rejected from the lower boundary of the value area, man. Getting rejected from the point of control, which is the midline, the highest level of traded volume. Finding support right at that level. The lower boundary of the value area does act as support, and there's good confluence with that 29.95 level that I was just talking about. So getting below there looks very, very bearish, and just based on horizontal level 28.81 pretty much is the death note for IOP. Doesn't mean that it can never come back, but it just means that if you could short it, you'd definitely want to short it then. So just hold on there, man, if you're going to hold on there, man. But we don't have any indications that things are going to look good. Let's see if we get any confluence from our EMAs. Yeah, rejection from the daily 55 as well, which has been suppressing price here for quite a while. And let's see, time transformation had given us the buy over here. Then we had a natural volume indication to sell right here. And actually what we're getting right now is rejection from the neutral zone, which is not a good sign to see either. So just another pump and a dump, man. All we're looking for is to get out on that next good pump, man. See here. My AI bot just bought Bcash 45 minutes ago. You know, smart crypto bot, I got a buy signal on BCH USDT last night. I decided not to act on it because I'm not really, again, just, you know, I made 3 amazing trades on Saturday. I'm not really eager to throw my capital back into the market. Going to wait for some nice consolidation and then a more sustained movement out of that. Red 5 Golf Gunny, what's going on, man? The new Galaxy S10 is crypto friendly. Yeah, that's huge, man. That's huge. You know, whether or not, again, doesn't matter if we exit the bear market this year or next year, but Samsung stepping into crypto and saying, you know, this is going to be huge, and we need to get in on this now. That is big, man. That is big. Dr. Faz, hey, what's going on, brother? Also a very hard question, and this is a follow-through question with regards to the trading range, 3,100, 4,200 currently. And everything has been bought up here, all supports and resistance. Was that a continue? Maybe you said further down. Oh, what are my probabilities and percentages on us changing trading ranges from 4,000 to 5,000 versus us changing ranges between 2,000 and 3,000? Hard to answer. Yeah. Okay. So the next, I'd say, okay, so this next week is going to be very indicative, to be quite honest with you, man. And again, just to be consistent with what I've said and what I'm looking for, should price hold 3,900 after a nice bullish impulse up, if we don't get automatically rejected from it, I would actually expect us to potentially make higher highs, and I'll probably be in a long position. Should we safely hold 3,900? I do expect to get a bearish reaction again off that $4,000 level. Just as trap longs are exiting their positions and shorters are trying to short it. But we have to keep in mind that, yes, everything has been bought up. So this is a fresh level that has not necessarily been bought up extensively, except insofar as it was aggressive initiation back at 3,800. So if we throw the volume profile on this bad boy, and actually go to something like bar replay. So let's bar replay right here. You can actually see, okay, look, this might be difficult for you guys to see, but if I zoom in here, cool. You guys can actually see where, oh no, thanks for just making it difficult. Let's just make that more visible. So style, and we'll make 50% width. Okay. You can actually see where we have what's called aggressive initiation. So you have price trending up very strongly. You see aggressive initiation here. You see aggressive initiation here. It's very clear to see on the lower time frames. But basically, those are levels. So based off my VPSV scalping strategy, when I'm using VPSV to scalp in the marketplaces, what I'm looking for are levels of aggressive initiation or violent rejection or returns to point of control. Those are the 3 types of trades that you can safely take with VPSV. And they tell you a lot. So basically, that was an area where you did have a lot of fresh buyers entering into the market around that $3,800 level. So a natural level that you would expect to take a long from when price returns to that area. So let's cancel that out. All right. So that's that represents its area as fresh buying potential. But when looking for a strong directional trade, which is what I think we should be looking for right here. I mean, of course, there's great opportunities for day trade scalping this, but I'm more interested in the long-term positional trade at this point in time. As I talked about, I opened up a positional short up here at 4,114. Again, took profits on that on the way down, still have a portion of that open. Should we hold 3,900, again, just to be logically consistent and very consistent in what I'm saying, holding 3,900 and consolidating and breaking upwards from that, I would be pretty confident that we go up to 4,500. As far as switching trading ranges from 4,000 to 5,000, don't really have a strong answer on that, to be quite honest from you. Again, it's not a cop-out, but really it depends on how we react to 4,500. Because our next overhead resistance breaking 4,500, which again, I expect to get sold into on the first pass-through. But if we get sold from 4,500, we'll see if we establish a ceiling above 4,000, then most likely we march on to 5,000, 49.39 actually. I always front run solid round numbers. Andrew says, can you make a living exchanging crypto from very little capital at the moment, like $5? No, I don't think that you can make a living just with $5 in cryptocurrency, although you can trade $5 on Bitfenix, for example. So, you know, is it possible to run that up to $50? Certainly it is, man. Jake Rezio says, I go on vacation to a place with no internet and cryptos decide to do something. Hey, man, I haven't seen you around for a while, dude. I'm hoping you get back soon. I hope you're having a fantastic vacation, though, man. I hope you're somewhere sunny and 75, man. Vitam in Padero Vero. I like that name. Is there any difference in strategies in my private group to my public work here? So my strategies don't change based on who I'm talking to. My way I approach the markets is the same. But members of the trading group have access to all my trades. I post them in very clear, easy to understand ways. Access to all my exclusive morning charting. So I do a lot of charting in the morning. They have access to that. They have access to all my indicators, our database library resource set, my webinar course where I design and teach people how to trade, as well as access to the private Discord where they can actually communicate with me and receive mentorship from myself and from our team of analysts. Do I use cross leverage? Generally, yes. Generally, yes, especially if I'm in a positional trade. So cross leverage is best if you're looking to establish a position. I will occasionally use isolated margin, especially if I'm trading altcoins, but since I mostly trade Ethereum and XBT, I generally do use cross margin, yes. Uh, 5.5x long. 5 minutes later, broker than broke. You guys are crazy. Okay, Eli, hopefully that was good for you, man. IOP. Back over to the editor. Big shout out, man, to the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much. 10WRS, SN Ahmad, Michael Gomez, Jankowitz, and Adam Edge. Thank you guys so much. Let's go over to my editor. Up the schedule. So BTC done, F done, IOP done. Let's go peek in at XRP, man, and see what XRP's doing. See if it's giving it all back to the market yet. All right, having a little bit of pullback on the higher time frame, just from my upper take profit level that I was kind of talking about right here. Basically, as you can see on my XRP USDT chart, kind of the area that's important to me is that 32 cents, 32.8 cents, guys. I think if we open and close, if we close above this level and have some nice consolidation, I think XRP will probably push higher. That's just the initiation level of what I was talking about. I had initially expected 31.78 to act as resistance on the first pass through, but that was not taking in the account that the XRP had been listed on Coinbase. So good news. We'll see if this is sustainable or if it just gives it all back to the market. Because as I talked about, let's actually look at Jared Maxfield. Thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Let's go look at XRP BTC on the higher time frames, and let's talk about this for a while. Let's noodle this out, guys. Okay. So not a bad opening to the week for XRP BTC, getting above that initiation level on the weekly time frame that you can see that I have on the chart. Again, yellow dashed lines, those are initiation levels. So as you can see, this was establishing a very strong ceiling or kind of a bifurcation, a bisection of XRP's trading range. So you can see it acted as support, acted as resistance, acted as support, as resistance, confirmed kill on the movement down, resistance, resistance, support above, down below. And now we're going to see if this level acts as resistance on a higher time frame. Breaking above, you can see that Xrp BTC, I do have upside targets if we're actually able to close convincingly above 8550, 8,550 Satoshis. So we've already hit in one profit level right there, 8,805. Let's see the high of the candle. Nope, sorry, have not hit it yet. The high of the candle was 87.91. So almost just came right up, came a few sats below my first take profit level. So 88.05, 92.83, and 97.99. However, overall, just looking at the chart right now, I feel more confident in looking to establish a short position, especially if we see a violent rejection from here and a massive offloading of bags. Because generally when something gets listed on Coinbase, and this is dependent upon the market cycle that we're in, but we're still in an overly bearish market cycle where there's a lot of indecision in the market. So a lot of capital still sitting on the sidelines, not freshly flowing into cryptocurrency yet. It hasn't happened yet. It will happen. It will probably happen around 5,000. It will probably happen around 5,000, or ideally, large institutional capital would flow in above 6,000 when BTC is above 6,000, because that would establish that we've broken the largest level of resistance on the highest time frame, and that we're most likely going to go much lower, especially because we're going to have a lot of trapped shorts, et cetera, et cetera. Jake, nope, Colorado with endless snow, but I'm back. Let's make some money. Let's do it, boy. Dr. Faz, I highly appreciate it, man. Yes, if you guys can get us up above that 100 likes, we would highly appreciate that, guys. It does help us get this information in front of as many eyeballs as possible, and I do think that individuals need to hear. Yes, YouTube algorithms aren't going off of likes anymore. They are going off of watch time and viewers. What? You mean you mean the YouTube likes are only to show how many people support the video? God darn it. Guess I'll just be happy. I'll just have to be satisfied with the support. Well, if it's watch time and viewers, man, I say and thanks to it's you guys. I mean, you guys are the ones who help support the show, man. So in that lens, I mean, statistically, we're crushing it, and it's all due to support from guys like you. I highly appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Curious if I like any masternode coins. I like X42, proud supporter of the show. And again, I don't talk about projects that I don't personally use or support. I wish you guys could see my email every day. I get emails. Can you review my coin? Review my project? Can you do this and that? And if it's a good project, then I'm open to having that conversation. If I've never heard of you, or if you sound shady, or if you're just some random coin, then no, we're not going to do that. Unless you guys want to give me, if you're happy to give me like half a Bitcoin, I'll give you guys 10 minutes on the show, and I will fully explain to the entire world exactly what. I'm just giving you a hard time, Red 5. Red 5 standing by. Craig Smith says, institutions have been buying over-the-counter for months now. They may be looking to start their retail offerings. Yes, but that still is going to take nice time. That's why there's always going to be a trade, guys, and there's always plenty of time generally to develop a positional trade. If BTC does go on a bull run, then it's going to be a nice sustained movement, because we're going to be in a very different market structure with much more long-term retail involvement and institutional involvement. And I think are we going to have the exponential growth as quickly as we saw last time? Probably not. This time, I think it will be much more sustainable and easy. Does this mean that Xrp is not a security? So far, no. But the jury is still technically out on that. Anyways, daily time frame. Yep. So Xrp looking to give it all back. I think the critical thing, if you're looking, if you're not in a position now, I mean, obviously, just from a trading perspective, I mean, you see a big pump like that. Hopefully, you're able to get in on time. When you see a massive volume spike, generally it might be too late. Definitely not an area where I would want to be a buyer of Xrp. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see consolidation at a higher time frame. I'd like to see the daily open. I'd like to see some consolidation, and if we break to the upside, then I would potentially take this. Overall, though, this is just so far a lower high on the daily, and probably continuation of the downtrend, man. Again, looking at my downside targets for XRP, we do have 74.88 and 63.82, which do represent likely areas where price is going to move down lower to. Now, should price get down to 62.50, I might potentially become an interested buyer. Let's look at some other analytics. Yeah, so if we look at looking at Ishimoku on the daily time frame, we can see rejection from the Kijun. Price is now inside the cloud. Should price close inside the cloud, you would typically look for an edge-to-edge trade. So we would be looking to target 92.83, which is, again, another take profit target of mine. But yes, just currently rejection from the Kijun. Haven't gotten any longer-term trend-changing indicators like a break above the cloud or a crossover of the Tenkan and the Kijun. Let's look at our moving averages. Looking at our moving averages, again, kind of the same thing. Rejection from the 55 daily exponential. We did end up actually going all the way down below the 200 daily exponential. Now, generally, interestingly enough about that, when you do get a bearish cross under, so we have the 8 crossing under the 200 exponential, times when you get kind of like a death cross are oftentimes when things do give a last gasp pump. So we'll see. Kind of a convenient time for Coinbase, or I would say. Looking at the overall volume profile, and I don't want to look at everything. I just want to look at the latest structure. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, price found support off the lower boundary of the volume profile, off the value area. Again, kind of the very similar thing. Should we reject from 85.50 and open and close the daily below 85.50, I think that we're probably going to end up going much lower. I would actually look to potentially establish a short position on XRP, depending on what it does with 85.50. But again, not rushing into the markets to do anything here lately. Okay. Let's look at XRP, which, if I was going to do anything, I would be going long on XRP USDT and probably hedging by taking an 18 to the downside, especially depending on if the market's in. So, yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's take a look and see there. XRP. All right, so we have confluence. There's no backwardation. Yeah, man. I mean, to be quite honest with you, man, this isn't super impressive, man. Like, generally, when you approach resistance on high momentum, you get rejected from it. And that level of resistance is still that 32.8 cents, man. Again, this is resistance. As you can see, it's been a ceiling. If we're able to close and we get some nice consolidation here and an up thrust higher, then I'll be a buyer. I'll be an interested buyer. Upside targets at 34.46 cents. Let's actually look to establish. Let's go down to the 8-hour time frame. Go down to establish the 8-hour time frame. Yeah. Time transformation doing yeoman's work here on the 8-hour chart, as it generally does. Buy signal here, here, and here. Sell signal right here at the top. Let's see if the 3-hour would have gotten us in there. No. Got a buy signal on the hourly right here at the market bottom. Buy signal here. 2 sell signals at the absolute top. Buy signal right here. Time transformation doing its thing as normal. Let's go down to the 8-hour chart to establish some potential higher take profit levels in the event of bullish continuation. All right. I have a take profit here right before the HVN. Also, definitely at this level right here, previous liquidity area, and as you guys can see, also a shallow area of the volume profile, so generally good areas to take profit from. Even though it's still overall a high volume node, it just is a nice structure that I like to see. I like to see little dips and rivets in the volume profile, similar to that one and similar to this one, because Should price not make it all the way to resistance, this is a likely area for people to have their sells stacked up, their limit sell orders, as well as it's also a previous area of liquidity. So the market was bought up at that level, and you expect that area to act in the short term anyways as resistance. And although it's not the most critical area on the chart, as you can see, my primary take profit is, as you can see, support right there, confluent with a shallow area of the volume profile. I still do, if I'm looking for upside profit targets, those are the structures that I look for to establish a profit target, as well as, as well as this area right here. So as you can see, another shallow area of the high volume node. So if price were to get rejected from significant resistance here, as you can see, formed by the volume profile of the high volume node here coming in around 36.21 cents, it's likely to see a stop loss hunt, or at least a liquidity grab to the LVN directly above it. Okay? Directly above it, and not actually the high volume node above that. So 36.52. So should price consolidate above 32 cents, I would potentially become an interested buyer, potentially buy the pullback to 32.80. I'd ideally like to see consolidation though. And then again, upside targets of XRP is going to continue a bullish run of 34.46 cents, 35.45 cents, and 36.52 cents. Probably scaling profit out 50, 30, 20, most likely, and trailing my stop as I go with the use of 3 commas. Ryan Atkinson, that's a great, that's a good idea, man. I should have Scott come up with, that's a good idea. Scott, if you're watching, man, we're definitely going to need to develop some time transformation t-shirts. I think that's a good idea. Claude IO, hey man, would be happy to have you, man. The banner is at the very top of the screen. Just go to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. All the information is on there, man. Or of course, you can join us in the Discord, discord.krakencryptocurrency.com, and you can either DM myself, any of the admins, any moderators, or any of the premium members. They'd be happy to point you in the right direction, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go down that commercialized line. Thanks, blockchain. I highly appreciate that, man. RJ Jamal says, am I not worried that today is the 70% gains like that week in 2017? No, I'm not overly worried, man. Not overly worried. Again, it would be, there are a lot of individuals that are kicking themselves, right? That they missed one of the biggest movements in Bitcoin's recent price history, which was that nearly $500 drop from the top. I was able to capture that. I caught that. I caught ADA. I caught EOS. And, I don't have to rush into a new position, man. I'm being patient, enjoying my gains, carefully watching the markets and determining my next move. No reason to jump into any bullish reactionary impulse when I expected, as I said yesterday, I would not be surprised to see price noodle up a little bit. So we'll see if we consolidate at a higher level. If we consolidate, then I would expect that we'll have actual sustained continued growth from here. And so the next big trade, the next big opportunity would be 39 to 4,500. That's the next big opportunity. The opportunity is not necessarily 3,800. Let's Kenneth Burmeister, I just want to chime in on this. So with over-the-counter trading, there's no slippage. Over-the-counter trading is a promise to buy at a certain price, which is a discounted rate from the market, so that you don't incur slippage. You would actually sellers would not benefit from slippage if they're not selling at a point in time. Unless you're actually able to time the market like just perfectly, man. If you have a significant enough sell order that you're going to move the market, like 1 or 2%, which is possible for somebody with enough capital, then no, you can incur that slippage. So you're willing to take the discounted rate, which is how OTC is. It's a promise to buy at a locked-in rate for a certain number of contracts or a certain number of units of an asset. Because generally you're running the risk of putting your money in the market or in the direct market, in the retail market, because you have no idea how much. It all depends on the point in time when you click that button. You know, Code Vay is going to lose his shit. Thank you so much, Dr. Faz. I appreciate it, man. Penny Stocks. Hey, what's going on, man? He says, hello, first time here and amazing TA. One thing, your charts are incredibly difficult to see due to the colors. Is there anything you can do? So yeah, this is, I understand that they're set for my eyes. I haven't gotten that a whole lot. I made some changes to make it a little bit easier to see. Perhaps just the fact that I'm zoomed out. But I'll keep that in mind, man. I've gotten questions and comments on that before. So yeah, when I'm really zoomed out, I can understand that it can be a little difficult to see. If I zoom in, that seems pretty good to me. But no, I appreciate the feedback, man. Thank you so much. Anything I can do to help out, man. I've taken kind of a poll, and I think most people are pretty comfortable with it. Most people are able to discern the information fairly well. If it ever gets to an area where I'm getting a lot of, hey man, you really need to change your colors, well then I'll probably, unfortunately, red, green. But I recommend, guys, if I could give you just one aesthetic comment, I highly recommend you guys use white and black candlesticks. Or ideally, another thing too is just use one color candlesticks. Ryan Atkinson says, how does the course material work for the premium group? Obviously, the signals are very important, but I also want to learn how to fish, and I would like to teach you how to fish, sir. So it's a growing list of webinars where I teach risk management, where I'm teaching technical analysis, where I teach how to use my indicator, where I teach how to trade and enter and exit positions as I do, and it will continually be added to over the course of the next year. So the goal here is to build very patiently and very astutely, because I take time and I take time to develop a very professional video. And there's also going to be course material as well, so workbooks when I do get done with everything. So subscribers get access to all my signals and setups. They get access to the mentorship. They get access to the team of analysts. They get access to my indicators, the resource library, which is stocked full of everything that I've ever gotten my hands on about trading, and access to my webinars as they come out. That's funny. That's awesome, JF Airplane. When Bitcoin could hit bottom, or is it already in? Hard to say, man. Use a lighter blue background. That might help. I'll play with the hues a little bit later on. Maybe we'll go to cyan. Okay, so Yeah, this is not a bad chart. This is not a bad trade. High volatility means a lot of opportunity for trading. Getting sold into pretty significantly here, but the logical move would have been to buy the retest of support. As you can see, it gets bought up quite nicely here. And this allows you to manage your risk fairly well. Your next take profit target would be 34.46, but if you open and close at 15 below 32.8, you have to be out of your trade. The next level that you would potentially look to buy up is this zone right here. Sorry, actually be a retest of this zone right here. Let's go to Twitch screen name. Can't find it. It's just Cracking Crypto, man. Oh yeah, let's look at XLM next. And I see a request for Zcash. I don't know if I'm gonna have time, man. So run on the schedule, but I do got to get back to the. Now getting sold into. All right, so let's check out XLM USDT. Let's start on the daily. Okay. All right, so kind of the same thing that we had talked about down here at this level. The last time I had talked about XLM USDT, we have this long-term descending trend line on the tether chart. We did get multiple buy signals on time transformation. I said that what would our initial take profit target be? Obviously be you take profit at your first level of resistance generally, which had been the return to previous resistance right here at about 86, or excuse me, 0.086 cents. Excuse me, 0.0878. All right, hit that. Pushed up. The more significant level of resistance obviously was this zone right here, which you can see we did end up getting rejected from, crashed back down. So always, generally, guys, you have to understand that breakouts are almost always faded on the first go through. So this was really our first attempted breakout of the descending trend line. What do we see now in current price action? We see a break to the upside and then a rejection from that level. So we already took profits on the one XLM trade that was a potential. So what would be the next maneuver? The next maneuver would actually be you need to get up, you need to get back up to 9 cents, man. 9.17, 9.45 cents is where you need to get back up to. If XLM is going to go on a nice sustainable run, you want to see price convincingly hold this level of resistance, right? You want to see price convincingly hold this level of resistance, this previous breakdown zone. And then you've got pretty good, because you can see it's consolidation up here and rejection. So this is your current breakdown zone where you also had previous support. So support turns into resistance. So this level needs to be consolidated at. We've formed technically a higher low so far and pushing off that quite nicely. Now we just need to wait and see if we get rejected from the descending trend line, rejected from the zone of resistance, rejection from the previous support, as you can see here, of this consolidation zone. So this was a take profit level, became support, and now is currently acting as weak resistance. Okay? So you could begin, if the daily closes above this level, you could potentially open up a small, you could purchase a small position on XLM USDT. If price gets up to this level and closes convincingly, you could look to scale into the rest of your position and pyramid in. Still overall pretty bullish on XLM in the grand scheme. Microsoft just launched information of its new token platform, basically, where they're going to help and provide support for individuals that want to launch their own tokens. I think this is going to mostly apply to to tokenized securities, which I think is going to be the next big thing in cryptocurrency. Tokenization of all assets. Upside price targets, if XLM is able to close and hold this resistance, this previous breakdown zone, then again, you look to establish a position and you look for upside targets of 10.39 cents, 11.09 cents, 12.47 cents, and 13.30 cents would be the current upside targets for XLM. And then your front running resistance, getting it back above 0.143, probably definitely gets sold into, and you probably see a healthy retracement down to this zone. And I'm just painting the bullish scenario here. You become interested buyers depending on the bullish reaction from either level, which would become support. Again, take profit is resistance, where you take profit at, breakage above, and return, you look for it to act as support, but you react. You don't predict, you react. The next bullish consolidation zone we're going to have to get over, the next kind of leg to go through is 0.143 to 17.46. So again, need to get a daily open and close above that level, and then we can establish profit-taking targets in this area as well. So potentially not looking bad. Market bottom, higher low, potentially a higher low. Currently retesting the level, currently testing a significant level of resistance, which is the long-term resistance trend line here for XLM. If we can get back above that, then again, I think we have some pretty bullish targets, but we'll just see, man. Okay. Finding support on the Tenkan of the Ichimoku. Unfortunately, the lagging span is below price. That just means that we are technically bearish. Let's see here. I got the cloud, very big cloud sitting overhead, so a lot of resistance to get through for XLM USDT. But if you're a gambling man, you're looking at this and you're expecting us to break resistance, but haven't broken significant resistance yet. In fact, just broke it and got rejection from it. In fact, hit the 55, the daily 55 exponential moving average, rejected from it, consolidating right now at the 21. Up is pretty bullish, down is pretty bearish, guys. Just one of those kind of areas where we're just sitting and waiting. Not an interested buyer for XLM USDT currently at the time. At the current cycle right here. Let's see, looking at the volume profile. This isn't too bad. This is also a retest of the point of control and a nice bullish reaction off the point of control. So yeah, let's just get back above that, again, that resistance line right here, which denotes the high volume node right here. We have a pretty nice LVN to at least initially take us to our first profit target. Doesn't look too bad, man. I would like to see breakage of resistance before I become an interested buyer again. Claude IO says, I really want to short Bitcoin, but I guess that's not one of your setups right now. That is correct. So if I join the premium group, I'll get an invite to the Discord. Is that where the trade setups are? The Discord is free for anyone to join. Discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. There is the hidden Discord. So when you get premium subscribers, get access to our database library resource, which is hosted on another server. So you'll get login access to that. You'll get credentials to log into that. You'll also get access to our private webinar videos. You'll have credentials to log into that and view that material, as well as our live trades tracker. Same thing. All those are hosted offline, or not offline, but on a different server than Discord. And then we have the hidden Discords. We have the signals channel, the members lounge, the day trading voice chat, the resources, the technical analysis channel, the market updates and insights, educational materials, resources, links to everything that you need to find your way to. I just upgrade your role in Discord. How do I feel about BitMEX margin versus Kraken margin? I mean, there's more opportunity on BitMEX, man. There's more opportunity on BitMEX. There's more liquidity on BitMEX. Obviously, if you, I would say that, you know, there's another thing that I like about BitMEX too, is that I think that everybody talks about the wicks on BitMEX, which is pretty nasty. But, and honestly, I'd like to see a better platform than BitMEX come out eventually. But it's going to be the same wherever you go, man. It's not the platform. It is the it's the liquidity, and it's the order books, guys. The more money there is, the harder it is to push price around the way it is. But it's just the reality of the market that we currently trade on, and the high risk is what makes the high reward so tantalizing. And as a trader, you strive for liquidity and volume. So even at these depressed prices, cryptocurrency still remains generally, if you know what you're doing and you're a successful trader, more lucrative than trading most of the assets. But there's opportunities out there in stocks. There's opportunities out there in Forex. But the nice thing about cryptocurrency is that even though it's dominated by much of the same as you see in traditional markets, I think cryptocurrency is one of those rare environments where if you know what you're doing, you can actually turn a profit. So I prefer BitMEX's margin to Kraken's margin, obviously. But Kraken is not a bad platform. Kraken's if I had to say there was an exchange that I trusted the most and liked, it'd be Kraken. I don't do a lot of active trading on Kraken though. Let's look at Zcash. And you guys can actually look at a bad call that I've made. So we'll just see. Zcash getting hit pretty hard with everything else, man. So I had established a small position in Zcash as an altcoin. We're talking about generally with altcoins 0.5% risk for me, and pretty much just doing the exact opposite of everything that I wanted it to do. So we'll see here, man. The original trade initiation, we do have the daily breaker up here. So that was the breakout trade. If you're being very conservative, you're waiting for the breakup above the daily breaker. I bought the potential breakout and price just pretty much reversed on me. So not every trade I make is a fantastic one, man. But looking at time transformation did give us a buy here, and it is giving us a buy here. So a little bit of consolidation underneath the resistance trend line and now breaking back above it and holding inside the value area, still below support. So looks fairly gnarly, but did have a nice 4% pump there right there. So we'll kind of wait and see, man. I like Zcash, but overall market cycle looks like crap, and just goes to show you, even I make mistakes. Let's see here. Let's go look at Ichimoku. Ichimoku currently getting resistance from the Tenkan-san, lagging span below price, meaning we are in a bearish trend. We'll see what kind of reaction we get off the oversold buy signal. Pumped up, gave it right back to the market, still consolidating above the trend line. Have not hit my stop loss yet, so we'll just wait and see, man. Being kind of patient with this buddy. Potential double bottom chart pattern, so we'll see. Looking at the EMAs, yep, rejection from the 21 exponential moving average, which has been suppressing price pretty much forever. I guess the easiest way to look at this is that if you wanted to buy a potential breakout, you would be buying either the close or the open and close above the 21 exponential moving average and targeting the 55, or you'd be waiting until we get back up to the daily breaker, which is about 0.015. Looking at, I guess, a little bit more short term for Zcash. What do I think about the intraday? Sorry, let's get. I hate looking at time frame exponential moving. Woggle around like.
Coming in here about 0.01342, just around this range right here. But again, some pretty significant resistance overhead as well. So just in a consolidation range, man. You had an attempted breakout to the upside, but got rejected from previous resistance. Doesn't look awfully fantastic. Probably just looks like a little bit more of the same. I'd say that if we are able to get back above, like on a convincing closing basis, if we're able to get back above this resistance, about 0.01374446, so just round that down, 0.01374, then we'll probably see a spike higher. But right now, just consolidating in that range. But remember, we tested support 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's likely that if we do end up rejecting from here, that support will not hold, and we'll look to revisit. I guess there's potentially a liquidity grab that we could have down at 0.0133, but at that point in time, I kind of don't become an interest buyer anymore. Again, the worst case scenario is that we do fall back into the descending wedge pattern. That's the bottom level of the wedge, putting us all the way down here. Because this level's already been bought up once, twice. It's currently being bought up right now. We'll see. Not looking, I'm not going to lie, not looking very in.
Sorry about that, guys. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? Did that fix the issue? I did unplug the microphone and plugged it back again, and so hopefully that helps. All right, cool, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, man. It did that for the first time last night. And you know what's interesting is I did reorganize to where I did have the overhead mic because it just clears out my desk a little bit more. And it started doing that whack and noodlery, man. I don't know what it is. But you know, they say mics are supposed to they say mics are supposed to be good for a long time, and this is a really nice microphone, but I don't know, we'll see, guys. Any hoosers. We'll see here if Xrp gets bought into a little bit more here. I mean, just on its face, you know, bullish push up. You're looking to buy the pullback. Pullback really wouldn't be until back down here around 32 cents, or excuse me, 0.3212. The first pullback was already bought up right here, so see if they get their face smashed in or not. But just on its face, I mean, logically, you would take the chance and buy the pullback after a big volatile move like that, or you try to short it. We'll see, man. Wow. Give me a second, guys. Oh, wow, cool. Great. And check. Sounds like you're being invaded by an alien takeover of your voice. It could happen. All right, guys, it is 2 o'clock. That means I must depart from you guys. Thank you guys so much for another excellent show, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I highly appreciate the support. You guys are fantastic and amazing people. I appreciate all the support, man. Let me give I got a few things to talk about, so don't run just yet. I got to give a shout out, of course, to anybody that I missed. Let's see here. Moving down a little bit, we do have Jared Maxfield, Luke Spurland, Alexander Markey, Valera, Izatov, and Wester. Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions on YouTube. Highly appreciate the support. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Junior Out of Mud, Spaced D9, LPay0, and the BTC Bull. Thanks, guys, so much for the follows on Twitch. Highly appreciated. Make sure you guys head on over here. There's a bunch going on, guys. A lot going on at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Of course, we are doing the 5 Masternode giveaway for X42, so still an opportunity. 6 days left for an opportunity to win enough X42 to stake your own Masternode of X42, so go check that out. X42.tech, proud supporter of the show. We have a new article on our website, guys, so if you head to KrakenCryptocurrency.com and go to our blog, you'll see a new article here about Tron's upcoming hard fork. Make sure you guys go check that out. Get yourself educated about what's going on. Everybody's talking about the Aetherium hard fork, but Tron actually has a hard fork coming up as well. Make sure you guys go check out at the website. If you go to Extras for Countdowns in Aetherium, we actually have our dev, Ben, he made a fantastic updated by the chain, right? Updated per block, right? You're not going to find a timer like this anywhere else on the internet. He's made timers like this previously for Monero V, for Ether Classic, for Oyster Pearl. So if you're interested to know exactly what moment the hard fork is going to occur, this is going to tell you, because it's based on the block, not based on some arbitrary time, and this automatically recalculates based on differences in block length or size. So You guys go check that out. We highly appreciate the support. Again, he did this for free, guys. So if you want to give him a little bit of a donation, power up the coder, he'd highly appreciate that, guys. All that stuff goes directly to Ben, doing real yeoman's work here, trying to help us out. All right. Anyways, guys, if this is your first time to the show, guys, thumbs up buttons and subscribe. We highly appreciate that. If you want to come on over to twitch.tv/Kraken we appreciate the follow or the subscription over there. Helps us keep the lights on and, of course, helps us improve the show. If you guys would like to help us out some more, you can check out some merch, guys. You guys can get yourself a sweet Kraken Cryptocurrency t-shirt. I've heard that wearing our merch or drinking stuff out of our coffee mugs does make you 85% more successful in your trades and 90% more attractive. That's scientifically proven, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support and help and wait. Let's see, is there anything else that I need to mention? I want to give a shout out to X42, Spectre Security Coin, MMO Coin, and Your Crypto Daily, proud sponsors of the show. Talked about the X42 giveaway. If you guys would like to trade along with me, have access to all the trade signals and setups, the indicators, the mentoring, the courses, you guys can check out the banner at the top of the screen, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Would love to trade along with you guys and help you guys out in your trading journey and experience. And of course, we're still looking for individuals to help us out. So, if you guys have any skill with designing thumbnails, if you guys have any skill with designing, doing videography, graphic editing, or writing, we'd be highly interested in having you approach us. Iridescent red pupil would be a nice touch. And that's about it, guys. Yeah, so anyway, you guys want to help us out, we highly appreciate that, man. And I guess I do want to pose a question, guys. So, I think the question of the day is going to be about XRP. Let's go take a quick look at XRP again. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to be sustained bullish movement or pump and dump? All right? Do you think this is XRP's exit scam or sustained bullish movement, guys? Let us know in the comments, or ideally, head on over to discord.krakencryptocurrency.com and keep the conversation going, guys. It's not just about the show, it's about the community. So thank you guys so much for your time, wisdom, and experience. And the support, guys. It's been a fantastic show. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time. And until then, trade safely. And I hope the show has helped you crack cryptocurrency.